Oh, okay, I'm going to read the meeting statement.
Hold on.
Being recorded.
Now you can go.
That's new.
This meeting is being recorded. Meeting statement. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law and the June 16, 2021 Act, extending portions of this order, this meeting of the Douglas, Sutton, and Uxbridge Planning Boards is in a hybrid format with both in-person and Zoom components. To join the meeting, visit www.zoom.us/JOIN and enter meeting ID 824-5527 1104 or by calling 1-646-876-9923. No passcode is required, but you must have an authentic Zoom account to join. The meeting will be broadcast and recorded on local public access station and live streamed on the town's YouTube channel when available. Pursuant to MGL Chapter 30A, Section 20, no person shall address a meeting of the public body without permission of the chair. Individuals who would like to participate should state their name and address after being recognized by the chairperson. I'll now do a roll call of each of the boards. We'll start with Douglas. Tracy Sharkey?
Here.
Ernie Marks?
Here.
Michael Greco?
Here.
Aaron Sokrat? Not here, right?
Not here.
He's always late.
Leslie Stevens?
Here.
Michael Zwicker?
Here.
And you're good. Jake. Jacob Schultzberg's not absent, right? Or he's absent, right? Got it. So we have a quorum of the Douglas Planning Board, the Sutton Planning Board. Wally Baker?
Here.
Michael Gagan?
Here.
Bob Largess?
Here.
Scott Paul?
Here.
Kyle Bergeson?
Not here.
Not here. Bill Calcott?
Here.
And you're supported by Town Planner Jen Hager.
Here.
Uxbridge Planning Board, Barry Desereau.
Here.
James Smith?
Here.
Barry Hawk?
Here.
Eli Lavadier?
Here.
And Joe Leonardo is not here, is that correct?
Correct.
Great. So we have a quorum of both of the Douglas Planning Board, the Sutton Planning Board, and the Uxbridge Planning Board. Since the last joint meeting of the boards on April 29th, the applicant has met at least once in continuations of this hearing with each board individually. It is my understanding that we may be at the point where a few waiver requests may remain to be acted upon, and then the boards may be ready to take action on the applications. I will defer to Attorney Brodeur for a summary of the individual nights of the hearing, and then to each chair to indicate if they have any additional comments, need additional information, or are ready to take some or all requested action on the applications before them. Yes, ma'am.
Did any of the boards approve minutes of April 29th, or do we need to do that?
We have not, that I know of, so we should probably do that. Does that seem appropriate?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll do that individually by boards. Bring back my list. So we'll start, let's go backwards. Let's start with Uxbridge Planning Board to approve the minutes of April 29th. Roll call vote. Actually, I need a motion to approve the minutes of April 29th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for April 29th.
That was Eli. And a second?
Second.
State your name.
Barry.
Barry.
That's the good
Second. That's the good.
So very hot.
Barry Hogg has seconded it. And
Everybody knew.
we're going to do a roll call vote. Barry Desereau.
Aye.
James Smith.
Aye.
Barry Hawk.
Aye.
Eli Lavadier.
Aye.
Motion carries. They've approved the minutes of April 29th. Of the Sutton Planning Board, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of April 29th?
Wally Baker, so moved.
Is there a second?
Second, Bob Largess.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Wally Baker.
Aye.
Michael Gagan.
Aye.
Robert Largess. Scott Paul.
Aye.
Kyle Bergeson. No,
Not here.
sorry, thanks. Okay, and Bill Talcott. I've got to figure this out eventually. Thank you. And the motion carries. The Sutton Planning Board has approved the minutes of the April 29th. The Douglas Planning Board, Tracy, we need a motion from the...
Ernie Marks.
Ernie Marks, so moved.
Mike Zwicker, second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Ernie Marks?
Aye.
Tracy Sharkey?
Aye.
Michael Greco?
Aye.
Aaron Sokrat, still not here. Leslie Stevens?
Aye.
And Michael Zwicker?
Aye.
And the motion carries for Douglas. They've approved the minutes of the April 29th three-town planning board meeting. Are we good, Jen?
I think you are.
Okay, thank you. At that point, so Todd, are you with us?
I'm here. How
Hey.
are you, everybody?
Welcome, Todd. Todd, do you want to give us a summary of what's been going on since we last met all together?
Sure. And I had planned to be there in person with everybody tonight, but my 9-year-old daughter decided to give me an early Father's Day gift, which consists of a pretty bad cold. So I'm here with tissues and cough drops in hand. I saved you all my presents in person tonight. So, but here we are back together. The band's back together here again for a joint hearing. Since the last time we've been together, as you all know, you've come and met with each of the boards individually, Douglas on 2 occasions, Uxbridge and Sutton on 1 occasion. We've handled the individual town waivers, all but for 1 in Sutton, which we need to take up tonight at some point. And we've gotten to various stages of talking about a decision with each of the planning boards. So, in particular, Douglas has we discussed a draft decision at the last public hearing. And since then, there have been minor revisions made to that, and I'm hopeful that Douglas has in front of them a form of a decision that they're happy with, but we can certainly discuss that at some point. We handled the 1 waiver in Douglas for parking, and that was already done at the last Douglas hearing. In Uxbridge, we had a similar discussion that we did in Douglas. We did take care of the 1 waiver in Uxbridge, but haven't gotten that far on discussing the decision or conditions of approval. So hopefully we have some capacity to do that tonight. In Sutton, we went through a laundry list of waivers, handled all of those but 1, which is the septic issue and the FAR issue, which we can touch upon. And, we need to start to talk about any conditions of approval with Sutton as well. So that's a very, very brief summary of where we've been, but you've all been part of your individual meetings, so you know what's occurred there. So I'm happy to start with whomever wants to, whichever town is eager to start discussion here. I'm happy to jump in and go from there.
I think what we'll do is we'll give each town's chair an opportunity to kind of summarize their thoughts on the previous meetings with you, and it might make sense to take that in turn. Does that make sense? So that we'll start with Tracy here in Douglas. She can provide us some comments on the meeting, and then we can take up those individually. Does that make sense? And then we'll roll all the way through that way.
Yeah, I think we're farther along than anyone, so we've already voted on our waiver, and our town council has drafted our decision with the minor changes that we discussed at the last meeting. So I circulated the decision to the board right when I got it, but I think it's exactly what we had, what we discussed. And I think we're ready to make a motion on this. Board? I mean, we've looked at it a lot, so we're ready to close and we're ready to vote.
Should we go ahead and just take that? Are you comfortable with that, Todd?
Yeah.
We have the last plan revision date.
It's in the decision, but it is
June 10th?
sorry, just looking for it.
That would be last Thursday,
June
right?
10th.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
So do I have a motion?
Get that in there?
Motion to close the public hearing or motion to?
So what's your preference? You would
Yeah,
close the hearing and then make the motion?
Yeah.
I normally close our hearing.
That's your preference? I will go with that.
That cool decision?
We don't close our hearing before in case we want somebody's input, but you guys can do it whatever way you want.
Or at the decision at the time.
So I'll make a motion then to close the Douglas.
Motion made by Mike Z,
I'll second.
second by Mike G.
Yep.
Roll call vote.
Tracy Sharkey?
Oh, aye.
Ernie Marks?
Aye.
Michael G?
Aye.
Michael Z?
Threw me there.
And Leslie Stevens?
Aye.
Thank you. The motion carries to accept the
Don't close the
to close, sorry, thank you, to close the meeting, and that motion passes. Is there now a vote on the waiver? Does somebody want to read the waiver?
We've already approved the waiver.
You've already done that. Wow.
We're taking care of the waiver. So
Yeah, it was With one waiver.
One waiver.
So we need a motion then to approve.
Grant the waiver. Well, we already did.
We did that.
Yeah,
I think.
Is that all you can add?
Grant the site plan review
Yep.
special permit. Yeah, they removed their earth removal.
Correct.
They withdrew it.
Yep.
So we'll make a motion on the table to approve the site plan, special permit for site plan review for map 114 parcels 3 through 6, Douglas, Mass.
And just site plan review
As-
permit, not special permit.
site plan review.
Yes.
Yep.
As written.
And that motion is
Mike Z.
Mike Z?
I'll second it.
Okay. Got that, Jen? Jen is still taking notes.
Ernie Marks?
Okay, and we'll do a roll call vote. Tracy Sharkey?
Aye.
Ernie Marks?
Aye.
Michael G?
Aye.
Michael Z?
Aye.
Leslie Stephen?
Aye.
And the motion carries.
And I just wanted to just clarify that you guys discussed all your conditions in open meeting on camera at the last meeting. So
June
that's
10th.
why we didn't really need to say all those out loud.
Yep.
go through all those.
Right.
Something's about to torture you, so.
That's all right.
Have the table?
Do we need this day?
No,
Is that it?
we don't.
We'll hold the adjourning the meeting until we're all done. How's that make sense? Unless you guys want to, you're hosts, you're here for the duration, guys. Sorry.
I think we should stay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want us to relieve our spots? Take the table?
You're going to take your camera and leave?
No, I'm gonna let Sutton sit at the table. I could be here longer.
All right, maybe at that point, it makes sense to, let's proceed to Sutton. Mike, you want to give us a summary of where Sutton stands?
Sure. My name is Mike Gagan. I am the newly elected chairman as of 2 days ago. So,
Nice.
welcome to my first baptism.
Start easy.
It looks like from one of the things we have left, we did have a motion to allow the withdrawal of the earth removal application. It's the first thing we need to do tonight. So we're going to have a motion.
Make a motion to, Molly Baker, make a motion to withdraw, allow the withdrawal of an earth removal application. The letter sent on June 8th from Todd, road builder.
Is there a second for that motion? And a roll call vote. Wally Baker? Mike Gagan?
Aye.
Bob Largess? Scott Paul? Bill Talcott? Motion carries to accept the removal, the withdrawal of the earth removal petition. And
The next thing we have, it looks like from our last meeting, we had with the group, we had one waiver request remaining, which is a waiver request from the Sutton zoning bylaw, Group 146 overlay district bylaws, section 5D4, C9C, as follows. V, point D, point 4, point C, point 9, point C. And I guess we were looking for a little bit of, from Todd possibly to jump in, and why they're looking for that waiver. If you can. I don't know if you can hear me properly.
Todd, you get
I
that?
can hear you. This is Todd. So this is the waiver that we talked about with Sutton with regard to the septic system on site and, frankly, the systems in Uxbridge. But we requested, as you know, a laundry list from Sutton and provisions under the 146 overlay district just for kind of completeness here with everything. So this deals with the FAR, and the ratios that are set forth in the zoning bylaw. And I think, as you know, and we've talked about this in session before, but the system is set up for the size of the building. It's pretty well oversized in Dan Feeney's words. And we don't expect this to be a very large producer of flow. So we felt like doing the on-site system was reasonable in this case. And we discussed with Uxbridge, why we didn't want to do the sewer connection. It's a pretty long distance away. And for this particular project, would be a pretty hefty price tag. So we asked for the waiver from Sutton under their 146 overlay district provisions.
Okay, thank you, Todd. I just want to check with the other board members if you have any comments or thoughts at this time that we want to add.
Would it, I mean, if it fails once, you can redo it. If it fails twice, you tie into it, or can we condition something like that?
Did you hear that, Todd?
Yeah, so, when we described the system previously in the site conditions, I'm sure Dan could do a better job, but I'll give it my best. It's pretty sandy soils out there, and the ability to, perk out there. It's a great site for a septic system, is really how we've been describing it. So we're not overly concerned about a failure in any sense over there.
Okay.
Does that address your concern, Bill?
Yes. I mean, if it does fail, obviously it's got to get fixed one way or another, whether we condition it or not.
Yeah.
Would it help?
Correct.
Okay.
Are there further comments?
Anybody else? Could we just check if there's anybody online, if maybe from Sutton or elsewhere, that has any comments on this waiver? I'm not sure if we have any
Not
Sutton
quite
folks.
sure how the Zoom works on that.
I don't see any hands raised.
Do we have any hands raised on the Zoom call that we can see? Anybody else would like to comment on that, on our Zoom gallery here?
I don't see any hands raised.
No.
Thank you for checking, Mike.
Okay. I'll sit down.
Bob?
Through the chairperson, I'm not an expert on septic systems, so I believe everything that I'm hearing, but it's our responsibility as a planning board to be here if this thing does fail. I believe that it's not going to, but I'm still comfortable having a backup plan in case something happens. That will never be used, but I want to have that tool in the toolbox. If it's, I don't want the whole project to be stopped over that, but I think it's good due diligence. You should do because there's 3 towns involved, because it's a bigger one than we reserve everything, John. I want to do that due diligence. So, I'm with it.
It's not available on the street.
Board of Health.
It's outside the scope.
Mandatory tying in.
Not planning board responsibility.
You can't, if it's
I
in the
mean,
street.
the system's technically not Uxbridge. Does Uxbridge have any comments on that?
Well, what we're looking for right now is to see if they already designed a reserve area for the septic. So if they have a reserve area, then we feel confident. Plus, that site was actually a place they used to haul sewer gravel out of.
Oh,
So like the perk right there is less than 2 minutes an inch, so.
that's great.
Was there? Excellent.
Yeah.
That used to be a sewer gravel, there used to be a gravel pit, and they used to, most of the gravel they hauled out of there was from sewer gravel,
Perfect time.
that they use it. So,
How
us as a board,
convenient.
we've got that.
I don't see
We've seen that pit
reserve,
many
no
years ago,
reserve
so
area.
we know, we're pretty comfortable with that.
So did you find the reserve area? Does it look like it's there?
No.
Show one, require it.
9,000
Yeah.
pounds, wasn't it? And they were only anticipating 4,500?
Yeah.
So it's almost got to fill.
Yeah. It's-
Does that address your concern, Bob?
Conceptual soil absorption system.
Right, so this is what, like 5 connected systems or
Yeah.
something?
We don't do our due diligence.
C43?
We don't want it to move forward.
I can't read it, see the calculation, we may want
Pretty confident it won't, it'll be moved.
It just says soil absorption system.
Is it actually a reserve area, or is it just the existing capacity?
Doesn't really matter.
It's over designed.
to, is it?
So for those on the Zoom call, there's a sense that it might be added as a condition, but somewhat moot because the system is over-designed, is that? But they feel comfortable and there's still some concern and thought that they would like it to add it as a condition, is that correct?
It's not, yeah, it's not actually designed yet. It's a conceptual. So it just needs to be approved through the Board of Health. I don't know.
Ultimately, the Board of Health doesn't have jurisdiction.
Yeah, it's not planning board.
So, I mean, I know it's in the bylaw, but really it's going to end up being a Board of Health issue ultimately.
It's not designed. Yeah,
Not design.
So,
just has some conceptual soil.
Chairman
Sorry.
Gager, Town Planner Jen Hagan, how would you like to proceed with that?
Again, if we're not worried about it, I don't think that any kind of condition is a big deal anyways. As was noted, if you have a Title V septic system and it fails, Uxbridge Board of Health is going to be on it immediately, and there's going to have to be a repair, and if the repair can't be made, they're going to kind of be forced to tie in to something anyways, or do a holding tank until they tie in something. So I'm not overly worried about it, but I'm also, I wouldn't even blanket a condition that says, hey, if your septic system fails twice, you gotta move to tie into sewer. Because from all commentary, nothing's gonna fail. It's just, so, I'm comfortable with whichever direction the board wants to go on the motion. So, you got a motion out there somewhere?
I'll make a motion for, well, to make this number 37,
Do you grant the waiver?
oh, this is the waiver.
I was going to say, we have a draft of a motion to grant the waiver from the Sutton zoning bylaw, section VD 4C9C.
Right up, and then you just add in whatever condition you want.
Right.
Okay, so you've got a draft motion there, I think, in our notes.
We don't have any conditions.
you know,
Will somebody make that motion?
I make a motion to grant the waiver from Sutton zoning bylaw, section 5D4C9C. Having found that although the physical building exceeds the allowable FAR, that the anticipated use and occupancy of the building will produce far less wastewater than anticipated FAR regulations, therefore a properly permitted Title V septic system can be utilized.
Is there, that was Bill Talcott, and is there a second?
Bob Larson, second.
Thank you. Was there a question from the Zoom gallery?
Telephone?
I think it's a telephone.
goodness.
All right, we'll do a quick roll call vote of the Sutton Planning Board. Wally Baker? Aye. Michael Gagan?
Aye.
Bob Largess? Aye. Scott Paul? Aye. Bill Talcott?
Aye.
The motion carries to grant the waiver. Is there a way to moot the?
Yeah.
Oh,
There
look
you
at
go.
that, there's all powerful
Thank
things.
Yep. Thank you.
Here we go.
Yep.
Hear that?
So Sutton does not typically close the public hearing before they deliberate on the project or take action on the, as the board likes to be able to speak freely with the public or applicant about the potential conditions. This may not be the case, obviously it was not with Douglas or Uxbridge, so there may be an interjection. Is there further motions or considerations from the town of Sutton at this time?
Not at the moment, no. Just some action items, but are we going to go through them right now,
Yep,
Jen?
right now.
Okay.
Yep. So the first one is the special permit for the trucking services and warehousing use. The board first needs to make the required findings and then make the motion for approval of that special permit. So if the members can run through the 5 findings required by law, that would be the first step.
Is this all as one motion or separately?
So they're going to make their findings.
Okay.
There's 5 of them. And then they'll make the motion to grant the special permit for the use with any conditions.
Thank you.
So I'll make the following findings for this project. Number 1, the specific site is the appropriate location for the proposed use because of the location to the major highway system. It's appropriately zoned. Number 2, the provisions for private sewage and public water systems are adequate per the documents submitted. Number 3, the effect of the developed use upon the neighborhood is minimized as the majority of the homes are substantially removed, remote from this location, and mostly are higher in elevation than the site. There will not be undue noise, nuisance or serious hazard to vehicles or pedestrians because of the proximity to Route 146, the on and off ramp for that, and the lanes in and out that are being designed for this program, or for this program. And number 5, for the plans and documents submitted and testimony provided during the hearing, adequate and appropriate facilities have been provided to ensure the proper operation of the proposed use, structure, and site. In view of these considerations and the following conditions, such special permit is consistent with the spirit of this bylaw and generally in conformance with the master plan for the town.
Findings completed.
Okay.
All right, now we can do the motion for the use special permit. And if nobody minds, I'm going to share our minimum conditions to the screen, so the board doesn't necessarily have to read them all verbatim, because that would be absolute torture. So the board can just summarize maybe. All right, I just gotta figure out how to do that. So if you want to start the
It's the green on the bottom row.
Yeah.
I'm asking it to connect to my drive,
We have 36 conditions.
so.
You're gonna have to read it.
Yeah, you do have to read them, because unlike Douglas, you didn't already kind of read them and go through them in your past meeting.
Yep. So we first need somebody to make the motion, and then we'll begin with the the conditions. And then you can split it up if you want.
10, 10, 10, and 9, right? Yeah.
Broadcast
Yep,
on my
here we go.
screen, but it's not.
All
Uh-huh. So we-
We probably have, I mean, we should probably just read them once and get it done.
right, we gotta make the motion.
Yep.
They're showing on my screen that they're, oh,
There you
there they
go.
are.
There you are.
Yay!
Lag.
I'm really excited.
So I make a motion to grant a special permit for the use of this site for trucking services and warehousing as detailed in the application document. Plans and meeting testimony, having made the above findings per Scott and subject to the following conditions. Condition number 1, the term applicant shall refer to the current applicant and its assignees, successors, affiliates, subsidiaries, or other entity related thereto. The applicant shall provide notice to the board upon any sale, transfer, assignment, or project other than an assignment of the project to a mortgagee pursuant to financing, and for any sale of more than 50% of the assets or interest in the project, each tenant shall provide the contact information to the board and the chief of police from the persons who are primarily responsible for the operating of the tenant's use of the building. 2, the site plan approval authorizes only the project as described in the recorded plans and documents and hearing testimony. Any proposed material change to the use, intensity, size, configuration, or footprint of the project and/or site improvement serving the project shall require an amendment of this decision. This approval having been based review on the proposed project site design as presented to the board for the record, document, plans, and testimony, any modifications not identified and described in this decision shall be subject to the same submittal review and hearing procedures as was the original plans. 3, within a month of the appeal hearing concluding, the applicant shall provide a final set of plans with waivers granted and conditions of approval on the plan set for board's endorsement as the record set of plans upon which construction shall be based. 4, construction on the site shall be limited to Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 12 noon, and shall exclude Sundays and all local, state, and federally observed holidays. 5, during any construction, the applicant shall maintain all feasible and reasonable means of dust control and shall collect all debris daily. 6, the applicant shall implement measures to ensure that noise during construction activity does not exceed acceptable levels as set forth by federal and state regulatory agencies. The applicant shall cease any excessive loud noises during construction activities or directed by a duly appointed agent of the board. No excessively loud activities are permitted prior to 7 a.m. or after 7 p.m. 7, the board reserves the right to review Sutton landscaping within a year of installation for the purpose of adding plants or screening materials which may reasonably be necessary to complete the intended aesthetics and screening. 8, the board reserves the right to review lighting located within Sutton or affecting Sutton and require adjustments if they find it to be in danger or a nuisance. 9, there will be no outdoor storage of any kind except within trailer backs. 10, the applicant shall include the plan of the open space on recorded Route 146 special permit with the intent of ensuring that the open space shown on the site plan shall remain undeveloped open space in accordance with the Sutton zoning bylaw.
So we'll go on. Number 11, all construction equipment utilized to construct the project shall be outfitted with manufacturer-approved silencing equipment, including mufflers and skirts. Number 12, the applicant shall employ quiet building equipment and erection systems to minimize sound transmitted to nearby residents. Number 13, the building occupant shall ensure compliance with nighttime, 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. restrictions against trailer disconnects and connects along the east side of the building. If issues arise with sound between these hours, the board reserves the right to require additional mitigation. Number 14, the applicant shall provide the Sutton Planning Board and Chief of Police with appropriate contact information for local and regional operation, staff of any tenant, and shall update the information as necessary. Number 15, should earth need to be removed from this site in excess of the minimum allowed, the applicant shall apply for and receive the appropriate waiver and/or permit.
I'm just going to read the first sentence and then say, as per the screen. And that was courtesy of Douglas's town council.
16, the applicant shall provide post-occupancy traffic monitoring studies for the project, with the remaining condition as noted and written on the screen. Now that you read that. Number 17, once a building occupant and or subsequent tenants are known, a written statement of the proposed user and their operational characteristics shall be submitted to the planning board. In the event that the characteristics demonstrates additional truck or employee parking is necessary, an amended site plan shall be submitted and approved, and this parking and any related landscaping shall be constructed prior to this tenant's occupancy. Prior to commencement of construction. Number 18, the applicant shall apply for and be granted a special permit to exceed the allowed 45-foot height. Number 19, the applicant shall prepare and submit for the board's approval a construction traffic management plan, which at a minimum shall address construction truck routes, contractor parking, staging areas, hours of operation, determination of need for police details during each identified construction phase. Number 20, all required approvals and/or permits shall be received from applicable permitting authorities.
Number 21, a pre-construction meeting shall be held with the planning director and other town staff as appropriate. Town's consulting engineer, the applicant and/or his representative, the applicant's engineer, and the applicant's construction supervisor for this site. Minutes shall be drafted by the town's counseling engineer and provides that all parties in attendance within 48 hours of approval prior to construction start to ensure that all parties are in agreement. Number 22, the applicant shall provide a minimum of 1 week's notice and review state limits of clearing with planning board representative. Prior to issuance of building or sign permits. Number 23, prior to issuance of permits for signage within the town of Sutton, the applicant shall submit any signage not shown on the plan to the planning board. The board shall review and act on the signage for compliance with the sign bylaw and the Route 146 overlay district bylaw criteria prior to issuance of occupancy permits. Number 24, prior to issuance of a certificate of occupancy, security systems and all necessary amplifiers shall be installed as required by the police and fire chiefs. Number 25, residents across from the main driveway on Lackey Dam Road shall be provided with a reasonable means to limit headlight trespass. Number 26, can
Let's
Summarize?
this.
Come here.
So again, this is Douglas Town Council, thanks. This is a condition which is kind of the trigger for if the traffic of a tenant is anticipated to be more than was in the original proposal, these are the triggers for revisiting the traffic. So this condition is strictly about triggers for reviewing the traffic. So that's all this condition is. So as printed on the screen and in Douglas's draft approval.
Post-tenant.
Huh?
Post-tenant. That's what it was for. Revisiting when there's a tenant.
When there's a
Post-tenant.
tenant, yes, exactly.
Just so your board knows.
Thank you. So number 27.
Number 27, the applicant shall construct a northbound left turn lane on Lackey Dam Road at the site driveway at the expense of the applicant and subject to the requirements of the town of Uxbridge in the access permit that will be issued by the Mass DOT. Number 28, prior to issuance of a certificate of occupancy on any building, the applicant shall submit to the planning board and receive approval for an as-built plan and written certification from the project's engineer and the site and all infrastructure to serve this area on the site has been constructed substantially in accordance with the site plan. Number 29, prior to issuance of occupancy of any structure, a Knox box with building access keys and/or codes, a building layout plan and emergency contract shall be installed to the satisfaction of the fire department. And number 30, that all exterior doors and roof access shall be marked on the interior and exterior with reflective sequential numbering that is reflected on the building layout plans in the Knox box.
Article 31, the fire department shall be given the opportunity to tour the building to orient themselves with the new structure. 32, the building occupant shall detail the method and location of snow removal from trucks. 33, the applicant shall implement certain improvement measures to the intersection of Gilboa and North Streets in Douglas as identified by the town traffic consultant, GPI, in its report to the planning board dated April 13, 2021, and VHB's April 28, 2021 response, both attached hereto and incorporated herein, which includes adding signage as approved by the safety committee to clarify the three-way stop condition, arrows indicating the direction of Route 16, and an intersection head warning sign on the approach of the intersection of Gilboa Street, adding pedestrian crossing warning sign, and installing the reflective shoulder/shade sign on the northern side of the Gilboa Street westbound approach of the intersection. Site maintenance. 34, the applicant shall ensure proper maintenance of plantings on the site, including immediate replacement of dead or diseased plantings unless it is winter or summer, in which case the following planting season. 35, no sodium-based de-icing agent shall be utilized on the site. Agents of potassium chloride or calcium chloride are deemed acceptable to use at the site. 36, the applicant shall submit an O&M plan for the site drainage systems. Inspection shall be performed in accordance with recommended schedule, and the written report shall be prepared by the inspector, including any required correction actions to be taken, such report to be submitted to the planning board within 14 business days of owner's receipt of the report. The required corrective action shall be promptly implemented by the owner at its expense.
You're supposed to say 36.
36. Is that a decision or a motion?
Oh, you
That was a motion.
37.
That wasn't the decision?
37?
If upon failure of the septic system, the applicant must comply with the appropriate Board of Health for remediation, which may include tying into any existing sewer system.
Okay, that's it.
That's the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, wait a minute, hold on. So those were the conditions, you were the second, Wally?
Yep.
I'm just stopping here.
Disrupt quorum, everything. Be mindful.
All right, so, I'm sorry, motion, you were the second.
And now we can take a roll call vote.
Yes.
Thank you. Wally Baker?
Aye.
Michael Gagan?
Aye.
Bob Largess?
Aye.
Scott Paul?
Aye.
Bill Talcott?
Aye.
Motion carries for the special permit for trucking services. Is that correct?
Yep.
Yes.
Great. And now, is there a motion for the special permit for Route 146 overlay special permit?
I make a motion to grant the Route 146 Overlay District special permit, having found during the hearing process of the project as presented through record plans, documents, and hearing testimony, subject to waivers previously granted, and also subject to the following conditions, is compliant with the specific criteria of the Route 146 Overlay District bylaw. The conditions 1 through 37 have already been read.
Thank you.
Oh, nice. Don't read them again.
Who is the second? Bob, thank you. And now a roll call vote. Wally Baker?
Aye.
Michael Gagan?
Aye.
Bob Largess?
Aye.
Scott Paul?
Aye.
Bill Talcott?
Aye.
The motion carries for the special permit, Route 146 Overlay District Special Permit. Do we have a motion for the site plan approval?
I'll make that motion. I make a motion to grant site plan approval for the use of 20R and 30R Oakhurst Road and 1 and 3 Lackey Dam Road as a facility for trucking services and warehousing based on the most recent set of record plans and documents and waivers previously granted and subject to the following conditions 1 through 38 previously read into the record.
Is there a second for that motion? Bob Largess, second. And now a roll call vote. Wally Baker?
Aye.
Michael Gagan?
Aye.
Bob Largess?
Aye.
Scott Paul? Scott Paul? Sorry. Bill Talcott?
Aye.
The motion carries for site plan approval. Are there further conditions or waivers from the town of Sutton?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
No, just checking.
Sorry.
Don't want to miss anything.
do you want us to do our motion to close our hearing
Yeah, you're
now?
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say,
Yes, I was going to,
close the public hearing.
is there a motion to close the public hearing from Sutton?
I just have one question, just to make sure. So where we say whether the use is different than what was provided by the applicant?
There's
Meaning,
2 of those.
Which one specifically?
Number 2 takes care of that. Number 2 takes care of that.
Okay.
Okay?
16 is the traffic.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I ask a quick question before
To close
you
the
guys
hearing?
close the public hearing? On your conditions, and I don't know what Douglas had, just thinking of it, is your hours of operation for construction. I know when we've done like Medline, the big ones, they work sometimes straight through the night when they're doing some of the concrete pours. So I don't know if we all have different aspects of timeframes. I think that could turn into a problem, because we have it as, these are the construction hours, but if you're going to be outside of these hours for a concrete pour or something of that nature, then you have to contact the police department and let them know that you're going to be working past that time frame. So,
Do you want to just do a blanket amendment to that? Because we're okay with that as well.
yeah, I just think that if we all have that same kind of plan, it just makes it easier on them.
I mean, ours is on line item 4, and ours is different than Sutton's too, a little bit.
I think we had an hour difference, I think.
Douglas allows construction on Saturdays all day, it looks like.
Yeah. And we allow starting of equipment before 7 o'clock and during the winter months and stuff like that.
So should we each kind of state what our hours are and try to just come to an agreement?
Well, we should have one agreement, I would think,
Yeah, I
between the
agree.
tri-town for the applicant too.
Yeah.
Especially if they're doing a floor pour, once they start, they won't stop.
Right.
I mean, that's rolling, the plant's going 24/7.
So what's your
And I
condition?
don't think
What's
Sutton has any
Uxbridge's
issue with those
condition?
unique
How does it read?
Well,
So-
typically, we're, 7 to 7, and then 8 to,
Monday through Friday?
yeah, and then was it 8 to 4, something like that, no work on Saturdays, no work on Sundays, but in the event that you need to extend those hours, then you just notify the local police department to make them aware that you're doing a, pour, something that's being extended out.
Well, what do you think about Saturdays?
They do
Because
8 to 4.
We allow
they didn't have
Saturdays.
we allow Saturdays.
We have- they have-
Yeah, we do 8 to 4, I think. I think
8 to 4 on
typically 8 to
Saturdays?
4,
Okay.
yeah.
We have,
7 to 7.
And
7 to
holidays?
7.
7 to 7 on
No
Saturdays.
holidays.
No holidays, yeah.
Well, we only have a couple holidays.
Unless they notify the LP, local planning department.
Yeah.
How about we do 7 to 7, Monday through Friday, 8 to 4 Saturday.
We allow 7 to 7.
That's,
It's kind of steep, if you ask me,
Well, man.
7 because some people, people are neighbors, you got neighbors over there.
They're right
What
across
happens
the
is they're
street.
kind
If there was more
of
distance.
having a cookout and you got construction going on.
What about 7 to 4? That way it's consistent in the morning,
Yeah.
guys can get started,
Yeah,
and then get out. They want to go home.
So beyond, yeah, plus those guys want to go home too anyways, but beyond 4 o'clock at 10.
Yeah, get that on a Saturday. There's concerts and people have parties in their backyard, whatever,
And we allow between November 15th and April 1st, starting of equipment at 6:30 a.m. So they can preheat it. They can't start construction till 7,
What's the
but
date, November 15th to when?
April 1st,
April 1st?
your winter season.
Yeah, because if
So
you got
guys go in and they start up their
Yeah.
equipment and let it warm up before they start.
30 warm up,
At what time, 6:30?
6:30?
6:30, we'd let them
Yeah,
start
and
them up.
your windows are generally closed at least.
Right, I would say, yeah.
And then we exclude Sundays and all local, state, and federal.
I think we all agree with
No,
that.
we don't do all that right now. Give it to you.
I think we all agree with Sunday.
How do you address concrete pours?
So you
Well, they gotta call the
they
local
do
police
New
department.
Year's.
It's doable, they just have to notice.
Because a lot of your federal holidays, everybody's
Right.
working.
Right.
Not everybody gets every holiday off, like tomorrow's a holiday now.
Got ya.
Yeah,
So-
that was kind of my whole thing, it's just,
So let me read the.
we let them go.
Well, we
So let's have one reading of where we think we're at, and then if we need to amend this, we can,
Okay.
or discuss.
So, right now, we're at 7 AM to 7 PM, Monday through Friday, 7 AM to 4 PM on Saturday, no Sundays, and the holidays in this list are New Year's, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, and Christmas. And your reasoning was, those are holidays where a lot of people, most people are off, the other holidays not so much.
Correct.
And these are more when people are likely to be having gatherings.
Correct.
Right.
How does the planning board feel about that?
And the early start, you got a list.
Oh, and the early start is
November,
before 7 AM, by
6:30 is start time.
6:30, November 15th to April 1st.
That's not construction, that's just warm-up.
Just vehicle warm-up.
Did you get a question in the audience?
Bob, you have a question?
Well, I think that Sutton Planning Board should support the three-town effort to cooperate with each other. I recognize it's not how we've done Sutton in the past, but it's a chance for us to try to see if it works.
And this is strictly on construction.
I want to be on a three-town effort. And we want to be part of the solution, not the problem, but other projects like this.
So we just substitute that into our condition number 4?
So we'll just do a
amendment?
motion to amend condition 4 according to what we just discussed.
So should we do, take a motion separately for each board to adopt what Jen just read?
Yeah.
Well, We've already closed.
Ours are good.
We're the only ones that have to. Yeah.
Okay.
No, Uxbridge will go next.
Ours are good.
All right, yours are good. No,
So the 4 o'clock
24 hour.
and 4 o'clock on Saturdays is our little give back to the, yeah.
The only thing we don't have is a provision for the 24 hour. So that's something that, whether we do a friendly amendment or whatever, I know we closed the public hearing, but a friendly amendment to allow that to be compatible with the tri-town agreement.
Sure.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of our hours in operation is fine, except for the once in a while on the long day pause, which is gonna happen.
Yeah, and actually, we didn't put that language in ours, so it would include, and if there's an unusual circumstance, we usually, when we write that in, they try to reach out to the planning office, and they definitely reach out to the police.
would you like to handle that with Sutton at this point, at this time?
We have a motion on the floor by Bob to amend condition 4.
Is there a second?
Wally Baker seconds it.
And a roll call vote for that motion. Wally Baker?
Aye.
Michael Gagan?
Aye.
Bob Largess? Scott Paul?
Aye.
Bill Talcott? The motion carries to amend the
Now we
construction
can
hours.
close our hearing, I think, or should we?
Make a motion to close.
There was a second?
Second.
And a roll call to close the public hearing for Sutton. Wally Baker?
Aye.
Michael Gagan?
Aye.
Bob Largess? Scott Paul?
Aye.
Bill Talcott?
Aye.
The Sutton hearing has been closed.
Can Douglas make a friendly amendment?
Can we take that now so that we can then let?
Well, the friendly amendment would be to be the same for the tri-town and notification of the police department if there's gonna be a 24-hour pour beyond the hours of normal construction.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote to the Douglas Planning Board. Tracy Sharkey?
Aye.
Ernie Marks? Michael Greco?
Aye.
Aaron Sokrat?
Aye.
Leslie Stevens? Michael Zwicker?
Aye.
Thank you. And a friendly amendment,
I don't know everybody's voices. Who was the motion, who was the second?
the
Make a
motion,
motion, Mike Z.
MZ.
And I second it.
and,
All right, I know.
all right. At this time, we'll turn it over to Barry to talk, to provide us with an update and discussion of the motions.
Yeah, so at our last meeting that we had with Todd, we issued the waiver that was required along the 146 side for that parcel. I haven't, Todd, I don't know if you've sent anything over. I haven't received anything as to decision conditions. I know you're supposed to reach out to Tallerman, and I haven't seen anything, and I know Amy, I don't think Amy has said anything. Have you heard anything on your end?
I've talked to Brian, but he was waiting to be engaged by you folks, is where I was led to believe. So he's aware and he's familiar, and obviously he did the Douglas decision. And I don't know if Brian's in the audience, but that was where we left off with that.
Okay, because I'd like to just have something kicked over by you guys to, review, and I want to try to keep, kind of like what you guys had for Sutton on the decision and what Douglas has. I want to keep our stuff kind of in that same consistency as everybody else, so it's not everybody, you're working by a different set of rules on everybody.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we're looking for is on our end.
So why don't I then, because we didn't have that communication with your council at all, so why don't I draft the decision, send it over to you guys, and we can, it'll be similar to what Douglas and Sutton have done, but since we don't have that in front of us, it probably makes sense to continue your particular hearing, to come in an individual session to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure he puts in there about the water line running through the streets.
Oh, that's the one we forgot.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the one thing I know we've talked about it a bunch of times was the redoing the roadway, the entire width of the roadway, whatever is, whatever you dig up for the water line and any underground utilities, that the entire roadway is repaired, not just the section that was dug out. That's something to throw in, for the condition. I don't know if anybody else, but it's actually Uxbridge, so it doesn't,
in Uxbridge.
It's Uxbridge anyway, so we'll take care of that one.
You're welcome.
You're doing cleanup work right now.
Right.
Picking up
Right.
scraps.
Talking to DPW supervisor, Mr. Green, is it?
No, Sherman.
Sherman.
Ben.
And he relayed that information to us when we did our Mass Works grant. We applied for full building and paving.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah, then it's probably best we just continue this to our regular meeting, and then we can knock this out and get it over with. But if you can get me a draft of something,
Is that next Wednesday?
yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to.
No, it's not next Wednesday, because it's,
Yeah, we have a meeting next Wednesday.
I would say, what's your next meeting after that?
July 14th.
Okay.
I mean, if we got a,
You have a meeting on the 24th?
23rd.
23rd.
14th,
That's it.
and that would be it for July, because we'll be alone.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
It's up to you. I mean, I can send something over tomorrow, but I don't want to unnecessarily rush your review of it, so.
Well, it gives us a week to-
Yeah, it gives us, you know something, why don't you kick it over and we'll try to get you on.
Send out Monday, I guess. Get to us on Monday.
For the 23rd?
Yeah, we'll try to we'll get you on the 23rd. We don't have a lot on our agenda, I don't believe.
So 6:23.
Just make sure it comes through and edit.
7:23.
Yeah,
It'll be a Word document, yeah.
okay.
They want to go to June, right?
6:23? 7:23.
Three.
To
make a date and time specific to continue the public hearing.
Date, time, and place
That way
now,
you're
too.
covered.
So,
Yeah, so it'll be
Daytime
June,
and
it'll be
place.
hold on, where am I at here? It'll be June 23rd,
Next Thursday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, June 23rd,
But that's
at the Uxbridge Town Hall,
what time?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock,
7 o'clock.
And it's in person
in person, so they tell us,
and no Zoom component, just in person.
just in person.
Okay. Awesome. Who was the motion on that?
I'll make the motion to continue the public hearing to June 23rd at 7 o'clock at Uxbridge Town Hall.
Second, Karen.
Eli and Barry Hall.
Eli and BH. Got ya.
And a roll call vote for that. Barry Desrousseau,
Aye.
James Smith,
Aye.
Barry Hawk,
Aye.
Eli Levadier.
Aye.
Motion carries to continue the hearing to June 23rd at Uxbridge Town Hall at 7 PM. Is that right?
Yes.
Did I get there?
Yep.
Can we just, are we at adjourn?
We're
That's it.
really close to that. I don't know if you guys want to offer any kind of further comments from Todd or anybody on the Zoom gallery?
Good luck. What I'm gonna say. Hopefully you're moving forward here.
I would encourage the three towns to continue working together, as this planning board has been very exciting, working with the three of you. Thank you for inviting us to participate. It's been eye-opening. Actually, just as a point from CMRPC, because this has been so enlightening for us, and these types of facilities are coming to our region fast and furious, we're going to host a regional dialogue to discuss more about these in July. So hopefully we'll have participation from Charlton and Northborough and you guys as well. So to discuss kind of best practices moving forward, hopefully a lot of what we've learned here. So thank you all. Is there a motion? We'll have to go through each town to adjourn this.
Did Bob have something?
Bob,
Motion to adjourn. All right.
Sutton's all over that. Motion from Bob Largest and Sutton. Is there a second from Sutton? Was there a second? And we'll do a roll call vote for Sutton. Wally Baker. Michael Gagan.
Aye.
Bob Largest. Scott Paul. Bill Talcott. Sutton can go home.
Mike Zwicker, Town of Douglas, motion to adjourn.
Is there a second from the town?
Second, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron. Roll call vote for the town of Douglas. Tracy Sharkey.
Aye.
Ernie Marks. Michael Greco.
Aye.
Aaron Sokrat.
Aye.
Leslie Stevens.
Aye.
Michael Zwicker. Thank you for hosting us this evening.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
You guys should do this more often, a little family reunion. Motion from Eli to adjourn from Uxbridge. Is there a second?
Second.
Barry. And roll call vote, Barry DeSorso.
Aye.
James Smith.
Aye.
Barry Hawk. Eli Levidier.
Aye, we're out of here.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody on the Zoom gallery.
Thanks.